Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to TekTopia. Before we get too stuck into today's episode, I just want to show you something that I spent a good chunk of yesterday putting together that I think you guys may just be interested in. So the texture pack that I use in this series is a little bit of a weird one. It's actually one of the very first releases of the new Minecraft textures that were created by Jappa, and it's the closest I can get to the new look of Minecraft. This is only in 1.12 of course, TekTopia, so I'm only able to get my hands on these, so it's not quite the new look of Minecraft, but it's also far from the old look, and this has sufficed for a very long time. It looks perfectly okay, but I had some spare time yesterday, so I thought I would put together basically a brand new texture pack. Now, you may think just by copying over some files it would be a really simple job, but it's not really a case of just drag and drop. There were a lot of texture pack changes in 1.13 I believe, and a lot of the files got renamed, so all I've done is moved over a lot of the new textures into a texture pack that works in 1.12, but it wasn't quite as simple as that. It took a lot of time, but I think it was worth it. So I'll show it off here. So this is the before, and this is the after. It's very subtle, I know, there's not a whole lot of difference, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it really makes it look better. Like the cobblestone alone, I think is a much greater improvement, and good news, I'm hopefully going to be able to remember to put a link to that in the description, so if you guys play TekTopia and would like the new textures in your world, then you will be able to download that in the description. As I said, if I have forgot, then just let me know and I'll try and remember to put it in for next episode or something, or update the description. But yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead and download it. I should mention I haven't been able to move over every single texture. I would have been there for absolutely ages if I did that, plus a lot of them look very similar if not completely identical. Also, any animated blocks that actually move within the game, so water, prismarine, magma, lava, anything like that, doesn't have the look of the new textures, as it gets confusing moving it over from a 1.12 pack to a 1.15 and vice versa, so these have the old look. But for the most part, I think I've managed to get everything that would be used on a regular basis. Wood and stone, for example, so hopefully this is of help to you guys if you play TekTopia and prefer the look of the new Minecraft textures as opposed to the old ones. We will start the episode in just a second. I just real quick want to say I have a slightly varied version that includes some of my custom textures that I've moved over from my survival series. So my paintings here, for example, which I've just noticed has an issue with the border. I'll have to do something about that, as well as a couple of other personal preferences of things I prefer. So my dark oak door looks different, my note block looks like a crate, and this is my polished granite and polished diorite, as well as a couple of other changes that I'm not going to show you now and you'll see throughout the rest of the series. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know it's going to be slightly different for me. Haven't decided to include that in the download you guys can get a hold of, just because it may not be of interest to everyone. Okay, now we can start the episode. So first things first, I want to head down to the town hall, and as you can see I have some gold blocks in my hand. I want to try out what some of these are going to look like in the town hall. So in the second episode, I believe it was, hello zombie, I asked you guys what we could put in replace of the bone blocks. Now I'm not against the bone blocks behind all of the stone here, but I think we could use a little bit of an accent color, and a lot of you guys suggested gold or just various other gems, and that way it would look pretty good. Okay, don't want to place down. There we go. Look pretty good. Like I like the look of that. Plus it's a nice little accent color to the greys and the browns we have here, and I think it looks quite nice. So maybe if we place a gold block on the, it's really not wanting to place, is it, on the bottom of each of these sections. I don't really want to overdo it and have too much gold, because one, it will look kind of weird doing it that way, plus I mean they are gold blocks, they're quite expensive. These are pretty much all the ones I have, so yeah, maybe if we start putting some more of these gem type blocks in our builds, it might make it look a little bit fancier. But yeah, don't want to go too overboard, otherwise it's going to be very expensive. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, I don't think. Pretty nice. Good suggestion, guys. Thank you everybody who left that. I think we're going to do this a bit more throughout the rest of the village. Something else I saw quite a lot in the comments of episode 38, which is the second episode here in the ravine village, was to add in some foliage on the actual walls of the ravine, more so at the top here, but I want to just get an idea as to how this is going to look, so we're going to do a little tester section over here, I think, just to get an idea of how many leaves we would have to place down to make it look kind of cool. Don't have to go too overbearing, and I'm just going to plop a couple of vines down. I think only 2. That way I can come back to this in, I don't know, an hour or so and just see how much the vines have spread, because obviously I'll have to go careful with that, making sure they don't make their way throughout the entire ravine, as that could be just a little bit too much green, I think. We are about 5 minutes into this episode, and I haven't exactly done a whole lot so far, so I think instead I am just going to blow up the ravine, because I don't know what to do. No, we're going to do some very controlled explosions here, because today I would like to make the mines, which, seeing as we're going with a Dwarven-inspired village here, the mines are going to be very important, and I've got a good idea for what I want them to look like. And the first step is to create a natural looking cave, and it's going to be a pretty large cave, so instead of digging that all out by hand, I thought we could do a controlled explosion. Controlled in quotation marks there. I don't know how controlled it's going to be, but I want to make a big hole in the ground, so I'm going to dig this way a little bit, because that's where the entrance to the mine is going to go, over here, and place down a large number of TNT, set it on fire, and see what kind of damage we cause. That was a lot of TNT. Possibly too much, honestly. I've made a world backup in case this really goes horribly, but I mean, let's just do it. Let's see what happens. Flamebow, get activated. TNT, I am scared. I'm running far away from there. Wow, that sounded loud. and very dangerous. How did it go in there? Okay, let's go take a look. What type of hole have we got? Honestly, just looking at this at a quick glance, it's a bit smaller than I had in mind. You guys can't see a whole lot, so hopefully I'll be able to brighten this up in the edit if I can figure out how to do that. Yeah, this is a pretty decently sized hole. It's definitely a good start. I might have to do a little bit of expanding, but we've got a good cave to base everything off of. You guys can hopefully see a little bit better now, and it's actually kind of small that I'm in here, so I think I could first of all do it exploding this little bit here, so I'm hoping to make some sort of chain reaction and not destroy too much. Maybe another one over here, and if we set that one off and cower away under here in case one blows something up next to me. Okay, that did not go to plan. Let's just do them all individually then, I guess, if you're not going to want to set each other off. Hide like a coward, and come back up when it's safe. Didn't really do a whole lot. At this point, it's probably worth just getting the pickaxe out. Okay, so I think I'm going to mine away this little area, block off some of the caves, and just make this place look a little bit less of a mess. How is it that I try and change 16 pixels and this happens? Like, I don't know what is going on here and how I've managed to mess this up so badly by making the smallest of changes. Very, very strange indeed. Not going to deal with that now. I'll come back to it later and figure out how I messed it up so horribly doing such a simple thing. But if we just head down our ladder here and drop down the bottom, I guess missed the ladder entirely actually, you can see our room is now looking a bit more stony, and I've just gotten rid of all of the granite. Get away out of my inventory, and the diorite and the gravel and everything else around, and yeah, just so I've got a nice canvas to do everything else on, and also refined it a little bit, making it look a bit less like TNT has just exploded this hole and more like a just mined out area. So I could do it doing a little bit more of that, like filling that block in, getting rid of some of this sort of stuff, just the solo blocks that stand out a little bit. But my plan for this room, and we're going to go through this kind of one step at a time, I want to make this feel as alive as possible. I want to have a lot going on in this pretty small area, and I think it's going to look really cool once it's done. So yeah, as I said, we're going to do this a little bit at a time, and the first thing I should probably work on is actually a way to get down to the mine shafts, which are going to be around the bottom here. So going to need to refine the actual entranceway up there, as well as bring in some sort of staircase down to this level. It may seem a little weird that we are immediately dipping downwards as soon as we enter this room, but that's for a good reason. I have 2 extra levels above this section right here, which I plan to do something else with. So if I say dug in this little gap here and went directly upwards, then I would immediately eradicate the availability to actually build anything up there. So yeah, that's why I've instantly got a staircase dipping down into this lower level, just in case anybody was curious. I'm saving some good builds for those 2 gaps. But yeah, staircase done, entranceway complete. Now what I have to do is figure out where I want all of the mine shafts to go. I think would be a good thing to do. Not gonna have any order to them, it's gonna be kind of everywhere. Having said that, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to go in this direction, because if you go a certain amount of blocks you end up at the tree farm, which obviously we don't want to cut right through the middle of. So yeah, need to figure out some mineshaft locations, and I think I might make this look a bit more cave-like. So do a similar thing what we have with the entranceway here, but for the rest of this big old room. Before we go any further with the mines, let me give you an update on our foliage over here. So as you can see, the vines have got a little bit long, but I would not say they are out of control. They're very contained, and they haven't really spread more than a couple of blocks. And honestly, that's pretty good and kind of reassuring. So maybe once we finish the mines, we can do a little bit more of this in a bigger area and kind of experiment and see how that looks. For right now, I'm going to leave this mess and fly over to the mines and show you what I have done over here, which has honestly done wonders. I think it's really starting to look like a mine down here. So you can see I've done pretty much what I've been doing throughout the whole ravine, adding some texture in, cobble, andesite, gravel. You know the deal by now, guys. But I've also got these things, these 4 of them, which are the mines themselves. So the way I've done it, instead of having the actual mineshaft token, say if I was to just dig in a hole here, let's say, I'm not doing that because I wouldn't be able to fit very many in. So I've got these bigger mine shafts going off in 4 separate directions. This one right here actually cuts quite nicely between the bottom of the ravine and the top of the tree farm, so that will be a-okay. Having said that, it doesn't go off in that direction. So yeah, but I've got 4 of these, and there shouldn't be too much overlap because they're on different Y levels. Might have a little bit of an issue with these 2 here, but yeah, for the most part that should be good. So we have, what is that, 6 times 4, 24 mine shafts in total, which is enough, and we can always expand it if we ever need more. So yeah, looking pretty cool in here, but there's still lots more I want to add in, and now is the next and final step, which pretty much is just adding in a bunch more random stuff. Well, not random, it's going to be added with thought and care. I just want to make this place feel really alive, like I said earlier, so I'm thinking maybe have some minecart rails going across would be really cool, some lava flowing. I think I need to brighten up this area a little bit, and a few other bits and bobs here and there, and see if we can get this place looking awesome. I've got the shaders equipped for this updated look around because it is so much cooler with them on. So things look a little bit different in here. First of all, because I know you're probably going to notice it, the magma looks kind of weird with the shaders, I know, and the lava is very illuminated, so do your best to ignore that. But as you can see, yeah, things are looking very different. So I did add in my lava fall all the way down to the bottom here, and yeah, just brightened that area up a little bit. We've also got a stack of ores here that are ready to go inside of our furnace just behind me. I think fits quite nicely into this little spot here. What I was aiming to do with this room was kind of not have any empty spots where it's just full of stone, and before this furnace was here, there was just a big open area in the middle, so I think that's really good to have that there. Of course, some cobwebs because campfires are not a thing in 1.12, the old school smoke effect before we had actual smoke in the game. And then we just have some chests and note blocks, aka barrels, dotted around in several other locations, which, yeah, really happy with how all of this is looking. But the main thing, and my favourite part of this room, is all of the rails and the minecarts that are zipping along, going all over the place. And I think I'm just going to try and hop on one here and stop it, so we can actually ride the rail around, so I can show you how much of a pain in the butt this was to set up. So we're going this direction, right? It's basically like a very long rail going all the way around. And this was difficult to do. It took a long time to set all of this up because I had to make sure that we didn't intertwine with any of the minecart or the mine shafts that we have in place. Like, none of them are going to intercept and then end up ruining the miner's experience. So yeah, that was very difficult to do. This took a lot longer than you might think, but I certainly think it was worth it. So yeah, it's basically a continuous loop that goes all the way around, and I need to get out and break the minecart very quickly. Okay, that didn't really go to plan. But yeah, we have that one as well as the one that I was just riding in, zipping around, just bringing this life to place, giving it some animation, and I love doing stuff like that. Just the minecart alone I think looks really cool. But if you have any other suggestions, guys, of things we could add in, then yeah, feel free to shoot me. I can always come back and make some changes around here. There are still gaps to add more things in. Feel free to shoot me? No, please don't do that. I meant shoot me your ideas. Quite often I'll just forget parts of a sentence and miss out words all the time. I'm also certain I said bring this life to place, not place to life, but hopefully you guys can still understand what I'm saying. So off camera I also added in another home over here, a 4-person one, which is now ready to move some villagers in. So as I said last episode, not really going to be showing these off too much. I'll show you each house when I do fill them out, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like, but I will most likely do all of this off camera because they're going to look very, very similar. So yeah, this is a 4-person home, and now it's time to go and buy some tokens. Emeralds in hand, and I'm ready to go and spend them, so let's head over to the town hall and purchase some tokens. So I need to grab hold of the tradesman over there, sat down. No longer, he's just got up. So I've already purchased 4 mineshaft tokens. Didn't really want to go too crazy since we're only going to get 3 miners here from this guy. We can always get more of these in the future. They're very cheap at the moment, only 3 emeralds, so maybe it'd be worth doing that soon. But we want to get the miner over here and get ourselves 1, 2, 3. Wait, that's not how it works. We want 3 of these, so we're going to need to spend 12 emeralds. So we'll have 3 miners, and we have a spot for 1 more villager who I'm going to make a druid, which is only 12 emeralds, which is very reasonably priced at the moment. These guys are super helpful early game, so yeah, very excited to get hold of one of those. Now it's again time to wait for some nomads. Just gonna go pop down my mineshaft tokens, but in case you guys don't know why some of my structure marker tokens look like this and that as well, and very unlike the original design of TekTopia, that's because I'm using a texture pack, or resource pack I should say, called Rustic TekTopia, created by Neth Robinson. That link, by the way, is in the description if you want to get hold of it for yourself. There's some really cool textures. Also, I fixed my paintings. Looking 10 times better now. Still have no idea what I did wrong before. You're a little bit late, merchant. The sun is about to set, but more importantly, where are your nomad friends? Oh, there they are. Okay, finally, they've come in to visit, or at least one of them have. So we have Vencia. Okay, we'll keep an eye on her. Anybody else wanna pay me a visit? I'll maybe give them a couple of minutes and let them accumulate from all 4 corners of the village. I took my eye off her for 1 second, and she has disappeared. Okay, I guess no nomads today. I will have to wait another night cycle, and hopefully I have some better luck tomorrow. Oh man, that guy gave me a spook. I was just sat by the fence so I would hear if any nomads came in, and yeah, we have one here. Named Gallus. That's a pretty cool name. Would you make for a good miner? I'm not sure. So yeah, just gonna... Oh, there's some more. Who are you? Remora? 5 intelligence? Okay, if we get 4, I'm just gonna go ahead and hire all of these, because once we build a library, their intelligence will go up over time. It's not too big of a deal, it just helps a little bit in the early game. So yeah, we've got 3, hopefully one more turns up, and maybe it's a really good one that we can make our Druid. No sign of a third just yet, so I think to play it safe so I don't have to do tons more waiting, I'm just going to make these 3 all miners, and then maybe tomorrow if some more show up, I can turn one of them into a Druid. And just as I hire all of those miners, it now begins to rain. So they're all going to go ahead and head back home and yeah, start work when it stops raining. So I think in the meantime, while they don't really do anything and I wait for some more nomads to turn up, I'm going to try add some of our leaves around the place. So not too sure what exactly I'm going to do with this, but I'll just have a play around with it and see if we can get anything that looks kind of cool. You know what? This actually looks really quite nice. It just gives it a nice twang of green and gets away from all of the grey that we had before. So thank you guys for that suggestion. I really like the look of this, and I've been pretty conservative about how many leaves I've been placing down. I haven't gone too overboard with it because I don't want to make it look super overgrown, but I think it's a nice amount, and I placed a single vine on each kind of patch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you kind of get the idea. So I'm going to keep an eye on them and monitor it and kind of place some string down. I've got it on the ready whenever I want it to stop growing, basically. So I'll be sure to keep an eye on that. I have only done the leaves though on the top level here. I don't think it really makes sense having it on the bottom levels here, although it may look cool and add a little bit of something to these overhangs. I don't know how it would be growing down there. This is meant to be kind of part of the bushery, I guess, from on the surface level here that's dangling down into the ravine. So you can see it starts actually on the grass here for each section and then falls inwards. Wouldn't really make sense if we just had it starting here, you know. So that's why I haven't done that. It may look good, I know, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be particularly make it a whole lot of sense, basically. So you may have also noticed in that time lapse I had to shoot away for a minute, which was only about 5 seconds worth in the sped up time, but that was because I had a bunch of nomads come into town, and one of which was actually level 15, I think it was, in the Druid profession already. So I went ahead and made her our Druid, and I'm assuming she's down here somewhere, maybe. I did set her job to be only using her Earth Reform skill, so she should spend all of her time down in the ravine, but by the looks of it, she is elsewhere in the village right now. Are you still inside of your house? That's the only place I can think you would be. What is going on in here? Okay, slight issue with the carpet. Would you like me to break this by any chance, guys? You're desperate to get to the mines, apparently, so yeah, you think I'd learn my lesson by now, just not to use carpet in TekTopia. Always seems to backfire. Well, there were 2 of our miners. I still don't know where the Druid is. Aha! There you are, Rolanda. Where have you been? I guess just hanging around the town hall. They usually do that when they don't have a whole lot to do, so I'm going to allow her to grow some crops in the meantime while she can't replenish the mines, because they are pretty brand new, so she probably doesn't have a whole lot to do at the moment. Where are you going, though? The crops are not down there. I gave you permission to grow crops, not trees. It's such a cool feeling coming into this mine and actually hearing the miners dig away the stone. I'll just be quiet for a second so you can actually hear it. So cool, right? It really makes this place feel alive along with everything else we have. The minecarts are still going. I wasn't sure if they were going to break when I had to leave and re-enter the world. I also probably will do this since I'm not ever going to go on the minecart rail again. I just had it open so I didn't hit my head every single time I went through. But yeah, I'll probably fill in these gaps just so the villagers can't by accident walk down there and the minecart can still of course fit through. But yeah, I really love this place. This is my new favorite thing I think we've built so far in this village. And yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. So thank you ever so much for watching. And I nearly walked directly into the lava then. Let's hope the villagers don't do that as well. But yeah, just guys, thank you so much for the continued support on this series. I feel like I don't say it enough. I seriously appreciate all of you guys still continuing to watch this many episodes down the line. I really hope you guys are still enjoying it. I am absolutely loving this series still, and I will for a very long time to come, I believe. So yes, thank you for watching the whole series. Thank you for watching this episode. Really hope you did enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.